All right, today's Mishnah Brura, Din Misha Shahalav Knesset Ad Yishtabach, the law of someone who waited, who delayed coming to the Beit HaKnesset, to the shul, until Yishtabach. So in other words, what do you do if you came late to shul? In Bala Beit HaKnesset, if you came to shul, Umatzah, and you found Tzibur, the community, Besof Psukei Zimra, at the end of Psukei Zimra, Omer, you say, Baruch She'amar, Ad Muhlal B'Tishbachot, Baruch She'amar to Muhlal B'Tishbachot, in other words, the whole of Baruch She'amar, Ve'achakach Tehillah David Ad Me'atav Yad Olam Hallelujah, and afterwards, Ashrei, but without the first verse, so just you start Tehillah David, not Ashrei She'Betecha, so you skip ahead from Baruch She'amar to Ashrei, Ve'achakach Hallelu Et Hashem Min HaShamayim, afterwards, praise Hashem from heavens, that is the third Hallelujah, Ad Livnei Yisrael Amkrova Hallelujah. That's that whole third Hallelujah. V'achakach Hallelujah b'kodsho Ad Kohen Shabbat Hallelujah, which is the fifth Hallelujah. So it's Ashrei without the first line, which is Ashrei. Ashrei without the Ashrei. Number 2 is Hallelujah number 3. And 3 Hallelujah number 5. Ramo says V'im yesh lo shahut yoter, and if you have more time, right? Shaha, waited time. It's all around that same kind of word. If you have more time. Yoma, you should say Hodu la Hashem Kiru Ad V'hu Rachum. From Hodu la Hashem, which is the prayer immediately after Baruch She'amar, until V'hu Rachum, which is within that those pages. V'yidaleg Ad V'hu Rachum Shekorem Ashrei. And then you should skip until the V'hu Rachum. It's the same verse quoted later on that comes shortly before Ashrei. Ki Beintayim Enam Rak Psukim Mulukatim. Because Beintayim, in between, it is enorak, nothing other than. In other words, there's only psukim melukatim. It is a gathered together psukim. It is a compendium of psukim from all over. It's not like one chapter of the book of Psalms or of the book of Nehemiah. From that point on, it's collated. Maybe is a better word. It is collated verses. Now, after you've said those, then you'll go to Yishtabach, V'achakach Yotzer, and then you'll say Yotzer, or Ukriyat Shema U'Birchotea, and the reading of the Shema and its blessings, V'Yitzpalel Imat Tzibur, and then you'll pray together with the community. V'Imein Shehut Kol Kach, and if you don't have so much time, if they're going fast and you're trying to catch up still, Yedalei Gam Mizmor Hallelu Hashem and Hashemayim, you will also skip the Mizmor of Hallelu Hashem, that is Hallelujah number 3. Im Od Ein Shahut, and if there's even less time, Lo Yamarak Baruch She'amar Tehillah David v'Yishtabach. Even less time, then you only do Baruch She'amar Tehillah David and Yishtabach. V'im kvar hitchilu hatzibur yotzer, and if the community has already begun saying yotzer, v'ain shud lomar psuket hazimra afilu b'tilug, and there is no time to say psuket hazimra even with skipping yetaleg dilug, yikra kriyat shema v'irchatecha im hatzibur. You should read out the Shema and its blessings together with the community, ve'yitpalel imahem, and you will pray, in other words, pray the Amidah with them. Ve'achakach, afterwards, yikra kol psuket hazimra, read the whole of psuket hazimra, be'lo bracha shelifneihem, without the blessing before them, ve'lo sha'achareihem, and without the blessing after them. So you catch up the psuket hazimra afterwards if you really didn't have time to do it there. Now the Mishnah Brura says, Imba, if you came late, aval lechatchila, but in the first place, raui lavo leveit hakneset behashkama, it is appropriate to come to the shul behashkama early. Kedai, in order shelo yitzarech ledaleg, that you won't need to skip. That's really the ideal, is that you shouldn't have to skip. Just by the way, this doesn't only apply if you came late in skipping, but also if you daven more slowly than everyone else. So that's not the ideal that you'll daven more slowly and that you'll get there late. The ideal is that you'll get there with enough time to daven properly. Ki katvu hasfarim shehamagid hizhir leveit Yosef, because they wrote in the books that the Magid, now the Magid literally is the teller, but in the context of the Beit Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo had an angel that would teach him Torah as he slept. So that was called the Magid, Rabbi Yosef's Karo Magid. So the teller, which means the angelic teacher, he's here cautioned the Beit Yosef, that's Rabbi Yosef Karo, the author of the Shulchan Aruch, Lavo leveit hakneset b'ashkama, to come to shul early, kadesh yuchal litpalel kaseider v'lo b'dilug, in order that he will be able to pray in order without skipping. Ki haosekein, somebody who does this, mahapech hatzinorot, somebody who skips over mahapech, turns opposite. The tzinorot, the pipes. The idea is, or the channels is maybe a better way, the channels of divine flow that you're bringing into the world. There's a proper order, a Kabbalistic idea of a proper order of bringing divinity and blessing into the world. And by messing up the channels, by skipping the prayers, the correct order, you're correcting the channels incorrectly. V'harbe anshe ma'aseh, and many, literally anshe ma'aseh, people of deed, right? It means great people. Many people of deeds. Noagin litpalel kaseder, have the custom to pray in order. Mitamzeh, from this reason, afilu im echaru lavo leveit hakneset, even if they came late to shul. Some people say, look, even if I come late, I would rather do the whole davening in order rather than skip, for this Kabbalistic reason of connecting the spiritual channels correctly. Aval b'tshuvat Chacham Tzvi, Siman Lamed Vav Ketav, but in the Chacham Tzvi, chapter 36, he wrote, Shema shekatav v'sefer Zohar, this that it wrote in the book of the Zohar, sheyesh litpalel ala seder, that you should daven in order. Hainu, this is kishe eino mitpalel im hatzibur, when you are not praying with the community, but you're in a rush, so not make the time. Aval im eichar lavo leveit hakneset uva kashe hatzibur mitpalelim, but if he came late, eichar, came late to the shul and the community is already davening, kula alma literally the whole world, but it means everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. Modu, kula alma modu, everyone agrees. De yedaleg, you should skip kedei litpalel b'tzibur, in order that you should daven with the community. The essence of communal prayer is saying the Amidah together with the community. V'kain pasak Pri Chadash, 50, and the Pri Chadash also wrote that in chapter 50. And even somebody who is not regular to pray with the community, but midut, consistently. So you have somebody who's there every day, they're the minion guy. So that's very good. So they should certainly make the effort to daven in order. But even somebody who doesn't usually daven with the community, he doesn't get up so early, whatever reason. Nevertheless, im eira, if it happened, / occurred, right? If it took place, sometime he came to shul, and he found the community at the end of Psukei Zimra. So now he should say, listen, every other day of the week I daven by myself anyway, so now maybe I should also, he should do like it's written in the Shulchan Aruch. The al kol panim, at least. Yesh lo lezakot, he should have the merit. But pa'am zu, this time, litpalel im hatzibur, to daven with the community. Vayn b'shari tshuva, tegling shari tshuva, the davka im yuchal lomar al kol panim, baruch shemar v'asher yishtabach. The shari tshuva says, but only if he can at least say baruch shemar asher yishtabach. Ein mashe katavnu lakamen b'shem mishkanot Yaakov, and take a look at what we're going to write later on. So in other words, for a person who doesn't usually daven with the community, it is better for him to daven with the community, but perhaps only if he's able to say Baruch Shamar Asher Yishtabach. Besof Psukei Zimra, at the end of Psukei Zimra, so if you find the community wrapping up Psukei Zimra, what this means, after you have put on tefillin on his head, you'll find the community at the end of Psukei Zimra. In other words, it's not the moment you walk in the shul that's where they're at, because you still need to put on tefillin and everything. After you're kitted up, that's where they're at. Take a look at the Chai Adam who wrote, if he came late, al kol panim, he should see at least al kol panim. Lomar kodem sheyatchil yitpalel birkat al nitilat yadayim velokai neshama birkat haTorah. That even though he's running super late, he should make sure to say al nitilat yadayim, wash his hands, elokai neshama, and the bracha of the Torah. The Mishnah Brura continues in brackets, di lav hachi, if not so. Da'at Pri Chadash, the opinion of the Pri Chadash be'elokai neshama, of elokai neshama, shelo yomar achat tefillah. You should not say it after davening, ki yatsa v'virchat mechayim metim, because you have fulfilled your obligation with the blessing of mechayim metim when you've praised Hashem for bringing the dead back to life. So that certainly covers the bracha of Elokai Neshama. V'ayin b'sof hasiman mashi ketavnu b'zeh. Take a look at the end of the chapter, what was written on this. So v'virchat Torah yesh daut b'zeh b'siman mem zayin. When it comes to the blessing of the Torah, we saw different opinions on that. In lo lamad miyad achar tefillah, we didn't learn immediately after davening. So there's different ways that it could go regarding whether the bracha of Ava Rabbah can stand in place. And the bracha of Netilat Yadayim was not established only. Lo ella, only. Right? Not except. Right? It was only established before davening. Once you've davened, so even though you go wash your hands again, you wouldn't say on Netilat Yadayim. Omer. Now you would say. So now it's taking us through what you're going to say. Baruch Shamar until. In order that you will be able to daven with the community. Because prayer with the community is desired, and acceptable before God. A community prayer is much more powerful than individual prayer, and that's why you should make every effort that your prayer should be together with the community, and your prayer will be that much more accepted. Yoter, and if you have a little bit more time, so then you should say the Hodu until Vahu Rachum. So he says, Ratzelamai, this means Yote Migdei Shir HaMira Mitila LaDavid V'chol Haleluot Ad Kol Neshamat Elka. Actually, the Mishna Brura says the Ramo is skipping a step. When he says if you have more time, he means more than the step after just Ashrei and the 3 Halelukas. Because the step after Ashrei and the 3 Halelukas is Tehillah LaDavid and all 5 Halelukas. Dahem kodmim midina. They come first. Midina, from the law. Right? In other words, legally they come first. They precede saying of Hodu. Shehem ikar psukat zimra. Because those 5 halalukas are the essence of psukat zimra. So if you just read the Ramah, it seems like he's saying, last prize is Baruch Shamar Ashrei Yishtabah. Second last prize, Baruch Shamar Ashrei Hallelujah number 3 and 5, Yishtabach. Third last prize, or whatever the one before that is, Baruch Shamar Hodu Ashrei 2 Hallelujahs Yishtabach. Mishna Brura says, no. Before that is all the Hallelujahs. Then all the Hallelujahs plus Hodu. That's the essence of Psukat Zimra. V'katav Magen Avraham Od, and the Magen Avraham wrote further, the Amirat v'yivarech David ad l'shem tivartecha gam ken kodu lahodim la'ashem kiru aval lo kodem haleluka. The Magen Avraham wrote that the saying of v'yivarech David, which we say after the halelukas, actually comes before, takes priority over hodu la'ashem, but not before the halelukas. So again, priority is number 1, Baruch Shema Asher Yishtabach. Number 2, halelukas number 3 and 5. Number 3, the rest of the halelukas 1, 2, and 4. Number 4, Vayivarech David. Number 5, Hodu LaHashem. Advu Rachum. Kata v'chaya Adam b'Shabbat yedaleg mizmorim. Okay, now what about Shabbat? So on Shabbat, Adam says yedaleg, you should skip the mizmorim shemosifin b'Shabbat min lamnatzach ad yikavod. That we add on from Shabbat, from lamnatzach until yikavod. There's that long section of Pesukei Zimra we add on Shabbat. V'yomar kamo b'chol. And you should say, just like you say during the week, because they are more frequent. There's a principle in halakha that things that are more frequent take priority. And if you have a little more time, yomer lamnatzeach v'ledavid b'shanato, say lamnatzeach and ledavid b'shanato, utfila lamoshe and tfila lamoshe. V'em kodmin l'shar mizmorim. Those 3 chapters of Psalms take preference over the others. Kid'ita b'zohar, and that is from the Zohar, from the Kabbalah. Od katav, he wrote further, the Shabbat mechuyev lomar nishmat. Vihini great birkat hashir. And he wrote further on Shabbat, you are obligated to say nishmat, which is called the blessing of the song. That's nishmat kol chai. Umutav shir daleg mizmorim. And it's better that you should skip other mizmorim in order to get to nishmat. Ve'im ki tefillah im hatzibur ritzuya mukabelet lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even though davening with the community is desirable to Hashem, you still need to say the nishmat kol chai. Yoter. So this is now saying if you have again a little more time. It's actually a misprint over here. It's a repetition. Okay. That's also a repetition. I beg your pardon, when I did the cutting and pasting to prepare these. Okay, so Yikra Kriyat Shema. So this is now saying that if the community's already finished Sukkot Zimra, so you should say the Kriyat Shema and the blessings together with them. In other words, you're forced to skip the Sukkot Zimra completely. But if you will not reach the davening, the community's davening of the Shemona Esrei of the Amidah, even if you will start with Yotzer Or, lo yatchil klal l'chulei alma, do not start at all according to everyone. In other words, don't start jumping around. Rak yitpalel b'seik haseder b'lo hatzibur. Only you should daven in order without the community. You can't make it with the community, so don't do it with the community. Don't jump around, and then at the end of the day, you still don't get to do the Amidah with them. What you do not do is say only the Amidah levad alone with the community. Because the juxtaposition, the connection of Geula, redemption, to Tfilah, to prayer, is better than davening together with the community. What he means is that the brachot of the Shema link redemption, Ga'al Yisrael, to the Amidah. If you're going to jump straight into the Amidah, you're going to miss that connection. So that's why it's very important to have that. Acharehem, after them. Dahainu Baruch Shamar Yishtabach. So what he's saying over here is, you say you'll daven together with them, but don't. Then afterwards say the Shema with. Afterwards say Psukei de Zimra. If you had to skip Psukei de Zimra, you go back afterwards to say it, but without the brachot before and after. Dahainu Baruch Shamar Yishtabach. In other words, Hainu, this is Baruch Shamar Yishtabach ki lo nitkanu lerov haposkim kim kodem hatfilah, because they were not established according to the majority of the halachic authorities, ki'im, rather before davening. In other words, once you've said your Amidah, you can come back and say the verses, the Psalms of the Psukei de Zimra, but you would not say Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach. That's it for today.